Welcome to Malcom Reed's How to Barbecue Right, a podcast where we talk about barbecue, share recipes, and discuss all things delicious. And now, here's your host, Malcom and Rachelle Reed.
Hey, welcome back to How to Barbecue Right Podcast. I'm your host, Malcom Reed, joined by my lovely wife, Miss Southern Shell, as always. Shell, we're wrapping up July. How's vacation month been?
It went by too fast.
It went by real fast, didn't it?
Yeah.
We've had a lot of, time to recharge just by taking it easy and not doing cooking videos. But I'm itching to get back started. We're going to fire them back up here. I guess we got one more week where we're not going to do one, and then we're coming back with videos. But we still wanted to keep up with our podcast. I know we missed last week, wasn't it? Because we were traveling.
I went
sick. Fishing again.
You got sick and before you left, and then you left. So
I've been not at home very much in July. It was supposed to be vacation month, and we did. I went all kinds of places.
So this weekend we are going to a different place.
This is the last trip of the month.
Yes.
Because it's the last weekend of the month. It's got to be the last trip. But we're going to Collins, and this is a work-related one. This isn't vacation, but it's going in Collinsville, Illinois. Yeah. They're having Smoking on Main, right? Mm-hmm. And the guys from Code 3 invited me up to kind of help out and MC the SEA state contest up there. I'm not cooking, but I'm going up to hang out.
You're doing a meet and greet too.
Yeah, we're going to hang out at the Code 3 store. If anybody's up in that area, y'all come out to Collinsville and check it out. I'll be there and talking to everybody and answering barbecue questions and who knows what all that I'll be doing. But we're going to have a good time, and it's for a good cause. They've done this. It was last year, the first year, I think.
I think this is the third year.
The third year, but
I'm not sure. It's either the second or third.
I know they had a state contest there last year because some of the guys I know told me that. I know Jimmy Parsons went, and he said, "Man, you're going to love that contest. Love the town. That's a really cool venue, and they really roll out the red carpet. They kind of close the Main Street area down.
Well, they're competitors too, so anytime a competitor puts on a contest, it's usually pretty good,
top notch. Yeah. But they're having barbecue contests too. I think it's like an amateur, like a backyard style. Mm-hmm. Then they're having a pro division. They're having the state contest. They're
going to have vendors for people. It's free admission. Vendors for people. Bouncy houses for the kids. Face painting.
Bands.
Stuff like bands. Yeah.
Yeah, a couple different bands. Johnny Rocket, man. That's the local band. If you're from up there, you're supposed to know who Johnny Rocket is.
Hey, he sounds.
It sounds like a
rocking good time. You go see
Johnny
Rocket? Yeah, I'll go see Johnny Rocket.
But it's Saturday and Sunday. It's not Friday and Saturday. So I think it starts 11 a.m. Saturday morning to the public. They're going to have, now see, this is different because most of the time, we do these contests, they don't have a lot of vending. You don't get to taste barbecue.
Yeah. They're
going to have all kinds of barbecue vendors from the St. Louis area up there because it's right outside of St. Louis, not too far.
Yeah.
But they're going to have all kinds of good vendors, and it's not just like traditional barbecue. Because I watched one of their little hype videos for it. They're going to have, like barbacoa style, Mexican barbecue. They're going to have all different kinds of influences of food, I guess, that's cool. Prepared, in barbecue
so you can go
style.
Around and taste a little if you want to.
I'm sure there's a fee associated with it. It's just like any other thing, like going to the fair.
Yeah.
But man, I love we can get them all together like that, and you can buy a little bit from one, a little bit from the other, so you can taste all this different stuff that you wouldn't normally get to do. And so I'm excited about that. I'm gonna take some cash with me.
It's not just regular vendors. I mean, I think it's Sugar Fire.
Yeah, I saw they're going to be there. There was several big names, that you'd recognize if you're familiar with that kind of St. Louis area and their barbecue up there.
All the proceeds are going to the U.S. Veterans Foundation.
Yep, and a local
food pantry.
Yeah, in Collinsville. Yeah. So, and last year I think they raised upwards of $7,000 that they gave back to those two organizations, and they're going, they hope to do more this year, and that's we want to be a part of that with them too. So it's going to be a good time. The weather should be good, and man, they're expecting a big crowd. They're talking over 35,000 people last year, and it's going to be bigger this year. So
if you're close by the Collinsville, Illinois area this
drop
weekend,
in Code 3, come down to Main Street, and check out the 2 days of putting smoke in the air.
If you need more details, I think it's all on Facebook.
Yeah, I'm sure they have it up there.
If you just go to Code 3 on Facebook, and you'll find it.
Cool deal. Well, we're excited. We're leaving out tomorrow for that Friday morning. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to
Swine Life's going with us too.
Yeah, Mark and Emily's going to come up there and hang out. And we're going to hit a barbecue joint on the way. I've A Fine Swine BBQ. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. David Stevens' place. I've been wanting to go there, and it's a good reason.
I have his sauce and stuff.
Yeah. Heck, I use his stuff. So he's got some good stuff.
I didn't know he had a restaurant.
Yeah.
I thought he was just a competitor.
I think he's got 2 barbecue restaurants and a pizza joint. Oh. I want to go to the barbecue joint and check it out.
Is it different, or is it in the same location, like the pizza joint?
No, they're different. They're spread out a little. Yeah.
Well, like different. Dwayne, he's got his pizza restaurant right in there with his barbecue restaurant.
No, I think it's a standalone, separate deal.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
That's going to be fun. I'll report back next week how the barbecue is. I hear he's doing comp style barbecue in a restaurant. But the cool thing about it, from what I was told, is he has cameras on his cutting boards. So like when you go in there and you order brisket, you order ribs or whatever, you can watch them, pull it out. That's smart. Cut it, plate it, do everything they do. So I want to check that out.
Yeah, definitely. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, we have our eyes on a steakhouse. It's supposed to be the best steakhouse in Illinois.
Is it in Illinois?
That's what they were saying. Best steakhouse in the area.
Yeah, we'll try that out because I know Chicago's got some killer steakhouses. I was like, that's a bold statement, right there.
Maybe not Illinois. Maybe in the St. Louis area.
What's the name of it? Porter's or something
like
Steakhouse?
That. Yeah.
It's in the little Collinsville town, I guess.
We looked to see if there was a dress code, and what did it say? There is no dress code as long as you can pay the bill.
As long as you can afford the bill, yeah. Wear what you want as long as you can afford the bill. It's my kind of rules.
Yeah.
That means T-shirt and shorts are appropriate. Hey, if I'm paying, you're spending $100 on a meal, man. That's I want to wear a T-shirt. What's it matter? Yeah. Right.
I think so.
I know what I'm about.
So,
question it.
Last week you went deep sea fishing.
I did. Friends. I've been fortunate enough to go to 2 fishing trips. As we took the kids on one around 4th of July, and then I went back with Chris Hall and Jeff Reed from Tastemaker.
And Heath Riles.
And Heath Riles went, and Jamie got to go with us. So we had a good little trip. We went out 2 days out of Orange Beach, Alabama. Still snapper season. Snapper season's wrapping up in the Gulf. I think it goes to August 1st. But, man, we caught some good fish. So I've got a freezer full of snapper, and we caught some cobia. We brought back some different, species of
How big
snapper.
Was the cobia? Because those fillets were thick.
Yeah, it was pretty good size. I mean, it has to be over 32 to keep, I think, was the limit. And this one was well over, so. Heath caught that one, man. You should see him fighting it. He had to take a little break after he reeled that one in. That jugger was pulling. But it's a really good, they call them lemon fish. And it's a really great eating. It's one of my favorite, the
cobia.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite saltwater fish to eat. The meat's real, it's real white, and it's got a good density to it.
Yeah.
It looks ugly as sin, man. It looks like, I don't know, it kind of looks like a stretched out catfish or something. It's ugly, but that's what I'm doing. We caught those, and we caught some monster snappers down there. And so that's what the first recipe when we come back here another week, I'm going to do a snapper recipe. And I'm excited to share that. But that's what I wanted to talk about today was, you were asking me what we were going to talk about for the podcast. And since I hadn't been really cooking, I think the only thing I've fired up the grill for here recently is like hamburgers and some fish. Something easy. It's been so damn hot.
Well, Tuesday night we cooked fish tacos.
Yeah. And I've got a recipe for snapper tacos on there. Was that snapper tacos that I did? We pulled it up and looked yesterday, but I didn't realize that I've done so many seafood recipes. You think, of course, you got the ribs and the pork and the brisket and all that, but I've done a pretty good bit of seafood stuff.
Well, we've just done a lot of recipes, period.
Is that what it is?
10 years of recipes,
But just looking back, that's what we want to talk about today. Some of the favorite seafood recipes that I've done on the grill.
Yeah.
All meant for outdoor cooking. And man, if you're a fan of seafood, I know some people, don't have a lot of success with it, but the stuff I've done's been really easy. It's not, hard preparations or anything. It's all about, just getting some good fresh fish. And that's been my biggest struggle with doing seafood is because the times it's turned out bad, it's been because the fish was bad from the start. I was getting at the grocery store, didn't have much of a selection. We're pretty landlocked here in Mississippi and in Memphis area, but we do occasionally we get some good fish. So
we do have the coast. We are at the top of Mississippi.
That's why I brought some back. Yeah. I've got some fresh fish now, and so vacuum sealed it all. It's in the freezer, so it's ready to go. You
were also going to talk about what you had to eat down in Orange Beach.
You want to talk? Yeah, let's talk about that first, man. Okay. So I got to
talk about seafood still.
Yeah, man. My absolute favorite place, and it's so simple, but it's the Gulf Shore Steamer.
Yes.
When I go down to L.A., Lower Alabama, if I'm anywhere near Orange Beach, I'm going to and I think there's one in Gulf Shores, but I always go to the Orange Beach branch because, I mean, it's just really good food, and they keep it simple. It's just, there's nothing fried in the whole restaurant. Yes. It's all grilled or steamed, and it's fresh seafood. So they do the Royal Red shrimps. And if you've never had Royal Reds, man, they're the best shrimp there are. They're sweet. They're light. They're just, I guess they come.
And they're typically really big.
I've heard they come down off the coast of South America, deep water. And I guess that's what makes them, they're more expensive because they're harder to get, but they taste so much better than any shrimp that you can get, just even regular Gulf shrimp, which are good. It just tastes better.
And they're a lot bigger.
Yeah.
They look different.
Yeah. They're kind of they are reddish.
Yeah.
And then when they cook them, of course, they turn bright red, but the shrimp itself has a different look than just a Gulf shrimp.
And at the steamer, you just get them steamed.
You can buy them by the pound. Here's the go-to.
Dip them in butter.
Get you the crab legs and the Royal Red steamer.
The best crab legs.
It comes with little boiled potatoes and some corn, which, but the drawn butter, cocktail sauce, crab leg. Man, they had the crab legs there this time. I don't know where they got them. They must have been straight off them Deadliest Catch boats where they're holding them out, shoulder width legs. They were monsters. They were monsters. And the meat just peeled right out of the shells. I mean, it's amazing. That was the best thing I ate down there. It always is.
You're making me so jealous.
Did I put a picture of it on Instagram? I think I had it on the timeline.
I think you did.
Probably can't see it anymore.
Yeah.
But I probably got some more on there from back. We've been going to that restaurant for years.
Yeah. We found it just kind of by accident one day in Orange Beach. Yeah, family vacation. And now we make a point to go there.
Sometimes I go twice a trip when I'm down there.
We've eaten a lot of seafood along the coast, Florida, a lot of places. Orange Beach.
Their restaurants, hands down. I don't know what it is. There's one group down there that owns several restaurants. They got the Cobalt, Cosmos,
and that other little restaurant,
Luna's. But they own, a couple different restaurants, but every one of them's got something a little bit different. And all their fish is awesome.
Yes.
The Cosmos, they have a banana leaf wrapped sea bass. It is amazing. It's amazing. And then Cobalt, I always get the pecan crusted redfish, and it is awesome.
Crab cakes. Best crab cakes.
Best crab cakes you can get. Yeah. Now there's another restaurant we went to while we're talking about them is Fisher's. I think it's Fisher's by the Bay or something like that. And
it's a white tablecloth.
A little bit fancier, but we sat outside by the dock. They had outdoor seating, a little different menu. There? It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I mean, it was July, so it was warm, but you got to see everybody coming off the boats at the marina. We saw Daddy from Party Down South. He come by.
Oh, really?
He followed us. Hey, Daddy. I don't know. I guess he said he watches the show.
Oh, he knew.
He'd been out working on a boat. I guess he ain't partying. He wasn't partying. He was working down south. He tried to get him to funnel a beer.
What'd he say?
He said he was too tired. But but we had, I had some swordfish tacos there. That was their catch of the day. It was swordfish. If you wanted it grilled or blackened, it was swordfish. If you wanted it fried, it was sheep's head. And I tried.
What?
It was sheep's head. It's a fish called, man, it's the ugliest. You need to look that fish up.
Okay.
It's got teeth. It's got human teeth. It looks so weird. No. But the fish was really good. I mean, it's a really great eating fish. Yeah.
Fish. So you got
it was just it's just a mild white fish. Yeah. They fried it over. I forget what they did with it. It was like some kind of risotto they had a black-eyed pea. Not a salsa, but it was kind of like a top. You see the teeth on that thing? Isn't it crazy looking? Yes. It's an ugly fish. I don't know which one looks uglier, the cobia or the sheep's head.
I don't know. That sheep's head's pretty.
The teeth on it are weird.
It's weird.
Yeah. But swordfish was good. And
So what they do on the tacos?
It was just blackened swordfish with a little bit of slaw and a dressing. It was very simple. Nothing
too crazy.
Yeah, nothing crazy at all. But it was just good, tasting fish. And swordfish, sometimes I'm a little skeptical about it, but
I've never had a bad experience with swordfish, especially down there. The last time I had, we went to Fisher's, I ordered the swordfish.
Yeah.
And it was like a fillet, and they
had that as well.
They blackened it or pan fried it or something, and it was very good.
But they do a good job. And we, one thing they had on the menu, boiled peanuts.
Really?
Yeah. And they were like a Cajun bowl peanuts.
Did y'all order them?
Yeah, we had to get them because, Jamie doesn't like boiled peanuts. I said, man, you got to try these. Let's try them. He still wasn't a fan of them, but I thought they were good.
Yeah.
They were spicy. They had them spiced up and they burn you. It had some fire to it, but it had a lot of, I guess, whatever seasoning. I'm guessing it was like a crab bowl they put in there because it had, how that clove essence of clove and the spices and all that, and had the juice in there. They were good. They just gave you like a little platter of boiled peanuts.
Yeah.
It was a good bit for 4 people.
Heck yeah.
For appetizer. It was like, I called it Cajun edamame. That's what it was. That's what it tastes.
I love boiled peanuts. We grew up eating them.
I do too. I like boiled peanuts. I don't like the kind you see in gas stations now. They come out of a can. They put them in the big kettle looking thing and serve them. They think those are good.
Soggy and
you got to get fresh raw peanuts and boil them,
with just salt
and water.
Really, yeah.
Probably really all you need. But I like them spicy too.
Yeah. You could add a little kick.
Mm-hmm. Donna's Fruit Stand does them good down there on 49.
Yes.
Your hometown. Every time I'm by there and it's open, I always get a pound or 2. I don't like them cold though. I like them when they're still hot, fresh out of the pot.
You get them in a brown paper bag.
Yeah. That's the way they serve them. It's got like a plastic liner in it, but they put it in the paper bag. No, they put the plastic around the paper bag. Is that what it is?
I think so. Anywhere else you ate in Orange Beach that was good?
We ate breakfast at the Ruby Slipper, and I think it's a New Orleans joint. Like, they've got a few different locations, but it does. I think they do breakfast and brunch is all. They close at like 1 or 2 every day. But man, they had eggs Benedict that were out of this world, and they had like a mix and match. Their special of the day was a crab cake Benedict, and then also it was not a pastrami, corned beef Benedict. I got it. You could like pick 2, if you wanted to try them. So they gave you, and they did it, instead of doing it on a muffin, they did it on a biscuit, which was really good. Egg was cooked perfect. And I got the corned beef, and then I got another one that was like St. Charles chicken or something like that. It's pretty much some piece of fried chicken thigh or something with the egg and the sauce over it. But with that,
which one was better?
The corned beef, because they did a horseradish hollandaise over it. And so it wasn't strong, but it had a really good flavor. The hollandaise, the sauce they put over the top.
Did they use that same hollandaise for the chicken?
No, it was totally. It was just. I think that was just like a standard hollandaise on it.
That's interesting.
It was good.
I like the idea of using the biscuit because a lot of times when I use the muffin or when you get it with the muffin, it's too hard.
Yeah,
I don't know if
it's tough.
It's tough
Texture of it, but I like the kind of southern eggs Benedict. Yeah,
I like that, and I hate it when the eggs overcooked.
Yeah, they had the poached egg to perfection.
Yeah.
And I think I took some pictures. I have to look and see at my phone if I took pictures of it because I busted it open and it was kind of running and I was like, oh, that's a cool pic. So, but I was ready to dive in. So I just snapped one. I don't know what it looked like, but that was really good. I'd go back there. That was so that was last week.
Yeah. That's where you were all last week, fishing on the bay. How was the trip?
It was great. Fishing. First day, excuse me, was we were on a smaller boat, so it kind of little rocky up front, but it wasn't bad. We went a long ways out. We went like 30 miles out. This boat was scooting.
Anybody get sick?
No sick, not this time. All of us did fine, but we did Dramamine up. I mean, it don't bother me, but
yeah. Did you Dramamine up?
I took like a half of one the night before, and then the next morning I think I took a quarter of one. I was fine. It wasn't nothing special, but caught fish. And the next day we went out on a bigger boat, and we didn't have to go as far. Man, that captain, the Wild Orange, y'all go check him out. If you want to catch monster snapper out of Zeke's Marina, I think it was, in Orange Beach, that's the place to go.
And what was the name of it? The Orange?
The Wild Orange.
The Wild Orange.
Yeah. And that captain on that boat, he had his deckhand was 11 years old, and it was his stepson. But man, that kid didn't miss a beat. He did everything you'd want him to. Kept all the poles rigged. You know, he would take the fish off, put them in the live well. He'd get you bait if you wanted to bait your own.
He was a little 11-year-old too.
Yeah. But man, he worked. And then he lugged all them fish off and hung them all up. That was what amazed me. You know, he's hanging all their fish up on the thing. We take pictures. And then he cleaned them all. He filleted them all for us. So that was cool. I was like, man, I need to bring Michael down here, let him see some work ethic.
Yeah. Learn from this kid a little bit.
Spend the summer with him on the boat.
He'll have a whole different appreciation for his.
Heck yeah. Well, I don't take nothing when you're working on a boat.
He'd probably love it.
Well, I mean,
ever since that fishing trip, he's been watching deep sea fishing videos and
fishing every day at the house. He's into it.
Yeah, he's into it. He wants to go back, so we'll have to take him back sometime soon.
Yeah, I'm definitely want to go back there.
I'll Dramamine up and give it one more shot.
You're gonna give? I don't know if I want you to go on the boat.
Why?
It's miserable when somebody's sick, you know?
You weren't sick.
No, but it's just, you can't do anything for anybody, you know? Yeah. It's like, they got to be sick. The only option is take them back, and it's like, nope, we ain't going back.
Yeah, you can't go back.
Ain't going back. You just have to tough it out, but it's miserable.
So, now we'll get back to seafood on the grill.
So, that takes us back to seafood on the grill. And what all recipes did you want to talk about? Because like I said earlier, I did a bunch.
Well, this past Tuesday, we did fish tacos. So how did you do that?
Let me start there. I took some of that fresh. So I froze all the fish and brought it home, vacuum sealed it. I didn't freeze it in water. Some people say, you know, and I've done it before. We put it in a Ziploc bag.
Yeah.
It does better vacuum sealed. So
the water just to keep it from getting freezer burnt?
I guess so, but we sucked it all, the air out.
Yeah, once you vacuum seal it.
And then, so I thawed it out. I just, put it in the sink in a little bit of water, and it thaws out so fast, fillets. And I kept it easy.
Out in, what, an hour?
I took, those larger cooling racks, we used to call them pork racks or whatever, and put them over a metal pan and took those thawed out fillets and just laid them out and then kind of patted them a little bit to get some excess moisture off and let them sit there and air dry about half hour while the grill fired up. I cooked, I was doing them kind of, I don't know it's not really, it's grilled, but it's kind of indirect grilled. I set the Memphis wood fire grill on 300.
That's your pellet. That's a
pellet cooker. Pellet cooker. So if you're cooking, you want kind of a medium fire. I wasn't trying to sear these. I just wanted to get a good cook on them, on the fillets. I oiled the grate real good. Hit them with some Grande Gringo seasoning, so they have a little Mexican flair. But you could use whatever you wanted. If you got your favorite seafood seasoning, doesn't matter. That just goes good with tacos. You like that Paul Padrones
a lot too.
Yeah, Redfish Magic. Yeah. That's awesome. You could use hot barbecue rub would be good on them on the grill like that. But then when the grill was 300, I just put them on there. One side, about 15 minutes.
These were fillets. They weren't
skin off. These were pure fillets, boneless, skinless fillets. And one side, about 15 minutes, carefully flipped them over because it had, the seasonings kind of seared on a little bit, flipped them over. Another 15 minutes.
Flipped them over completely?
Yeah, just one time.
Yeah.
And they started to flake. You could see the kind of that whitish liquid start oozing out. The color of the flesh kind of goes to real opaque and it kind of flakes real white. That's when they're done. You just don't want to overcook them. And it took about 30 minutes is all. I took them up, took them inside and just let them hang out while we got the rest of the taco stuff ready. Mm-hmm. And I served them.
We made an avocado crema.
Yeah. And that's a recipe we've done before.
Yeah. We used it on a brisket taco though.
It's a couple avocados, some sour cream, some lime juice, a chipotle pepper finely chopped up, a little bit of garlic and season it with salt. That was it.
And it's just a souped up sour cream.
That's all it is. Yeah. It has a little bit of avocado flavor. It's got a little heat, a little smokiness from the chipotle.
It's good.
Really good. The lime juice just brightens it and thins it down enough to where you can squeeze it out of a bottle real easy. And
you made a homemade pico.
Yeah.
Because we had some fresh tomatoes and it was delicious.
Tomatoes, onions, cilantro, jalapeno pepper finely diced, some more lime juice and seasoned it with a little salt and pepper is all it was.
Yeah. It was really good. I was eating it with
kind of like a fresh salsa, but not, it's pico.
Yeah. It didn't have as much seasoning as salsa would.
Right. Yeah, because really most of the time you buy pico, they don't season it at all.
Yeah. It's just
but it needed a little bit,
But because that tomato was so fresh, it was garden grown tomatoes.
It's real acidic. That's what I like about it.
Yeah, it was so good. You could taste those fresh tomatoes in it. So you didn't really need a lot of seasoning in it.
I was
eating it with chips.
So what I did was take that spatula that I took the fish off with and bring it in, put it on a plate and just kind of break it up a little bit. That way you can take some tongs and put a little piece of fish on your tortilla shell.
It almost broke up perfect in like little logs.
Yeah, well, so what I would do,
go on your taco.
They kind of have a line down the fillet, separate kind of top and bottom or whatever. And I'll just go right down the middle and then come back and just kind of half those and strips a little bit. So it makes a perfect little amount of fish for a taco. And we served them in little flour tortilla shells, the street taco size. Yeah. Those are 3-inch shells maybe?
Probably.
They're not very big. Maybe. I like them smaller. That way you can build them and have several of them, try them different ways.
I like doing different things to each one.
We did pickled red onion.
Yeah.
And that I just take thinly sliced, you did it for me actually on a mandolin, thinly sliced red onion. And I take some cider vinegar, like 1 cup, pinch of salt, pinch of sugar, pinch of red pepper flakes. Put that on the stove top in a little pot, bring it to a boil. Mix all, where the sugars dissolve, salt's mixed in. And then I take and put all those onions like in a heavier plastic cup, pour that vinegar mixture over it and just let it sit. And it'll turn them bright pink. That pulls all the color. I think it makes a real pretty presentation, but the onions they're crispy. They still have a little crunch to them, but they have that little bit of heat from the pepper, the vinegar, but they're sweet, brings out the sweetness in them. Excellent on tacos as a top. I like them on pulled pork. Yeah, they're great.
Everything. You can eat them alongside vegetables too.
Oh, yeah, they're good.
We always keep pickled red onions in the
and you can do
fridge.
white onions too. You can do white if you like them. Pretty. But the pink ones, just the way it makes them bright pink, purplish color, it's just makes your food pop.
Yeah. And then we had some extra cilantro.
And slaw.
Yeah.
But we just did a dry slaw. Like you buy a bag of coleslaw from the produce section. Don't mix anything with it. Because the little cabbage, you need the little cabbage crunch, and it's got carrots, and it has a little, what's the purple stuff, endive or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, we have mixed up a slaw before to use on it, but because we had the crema, that was kind
your
of a
slaw
creamy.
dressing.
Yeah.
You could have mixed that and made a cilantro,
and I bet it would have been really good.
Or whatever. But
using avocados as part of your, that's a good idea to use avocados as part of your salad dressing. Mm-hmm. Little healthier alternative.
That's right. Get some good fat in there and the bad fat. Mix good fat with your bad fat. But that was fish tacos served with some black beans, a little cilantro lime rice I did. And
busted out
and
the margarita.
Corn, grilled some corn.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't get a corn.
You didn't need a corn? It was good. It was fresh corn. We did those I just put them on the grill right along
Unhusked. You just throw them, field to grill.
Yeah, field to grill. That's it. And they're good. The outside, the husk protects it. So it steams in there. It's juicy. As long as you don't overcook it, it's fine. You don't need much. You're really just warming it up.
Yeah.
It ain't really cooking that corn a whole lot. I wasn't trying to char grill it.
Yeah.
I was just letting it steam in there. So it went on at 300, same time as the fish. In about 30 minutes, the corn was ready.
When you pull it out and it's almost like it makes it easier to shuck after it's
all the silk comes off of it. Yep.
Because you can pull it off real quick and easy, and it's good to go.
That's an easy taco night, and I might have had, I don't even know if it took an hour to prep everything. Mm-hmm. That was about it.
The hardest part was all the chopping for your homemade pico.
Yeah. That took longer than anything because the fish was nothing. And you could do that with catfish. You could do it with any kind of fish.
Yeah.
Any kind of white fish would be, heck, it don't matter. You could do it with salmon if you wanted to. I'm not a huge salmon, taco guy.
Salmon has more of a flavor that I feel like other white fishes would do better.
There's one place I've had a salmon-esque taco, and it wasn't salmon, it still had trout, but that's a lot like salmon. And it's at, Elwood Shack in Memphis.
It is very good.
Awesome fish tacos.
Yes.
Man, somebody, I forget who told me, I think it was Blake told me about those.
Yeah.
And, man, they're so worth the drive up there. If you're in Memphis and you want something different, go to Elwood's and get a fish taco.
And it is a shack. It's called Elwood Shack, but it is a shack, and it's in like the parking lot
of Lowe's,
Home Depot or something.
Yeah, off Perkins. Is it Perkins in Summer area? Yeah. I think.
Didn't we see Jerry Lawler in there?
No, it was Sid Vicious. Psycho Sid. He was sitting there eating fish tacos.
Sid knows what's up.
He knows what's up. Yeah.
We also used to have some good fish tacos from that one Mexican joint, but they were Baja fish tacos.
Yeah.
And those were like lightly fried.
That's that was my first, first fish taco I probably ever had was Dos Equis fish tacos on the border.
Yeah.
That was probably my first experience. I said, man, they were pretty good back in the day. I wouldn't go there now, but there's too many other good authentic places to go to.
Yeah.
Or Americanized authentic, I guess you'd call it. But the ones that you were talking about, they took, and I guarantee it was tilapia. And I'm not a huge fan of tilapia, but when you go to Mexican restaurant, that's probably what they're giving you.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But they battered them like it's a light batter. It's not heavy, but I'm sure it's not like a panko, you know, it's like a batter. Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's almost like a tempura batter.
Yeah.
That kind of thin, not like a, you know, fish and chips type batter which is thick. It's more like a tempura, but they did them on tacos, and they do some kind of crema with theirs too.
Yes.
It's really good. It's like a southwestern style.
And they have some
crema.
type of slaw and
it's real simple.
Something like pickled red onions or something on there.
But it's awesome
like 3
too,
elements on there. The other redfish tacos that you have on the website, you use redfish on it, but you actually you made it almost a nest. You used cilantro and limes and jalapenos.
And see that was
I think you did it on the big green egg.
I got that inspiration to cook on that nest from when Lambert did that chicken on the red box, how he built it. So I said, man, that'd be a great way to do fish, because a lot of times you'll have trouble, or people have trouble, and I've experienced it too, where fish wants to stick on the grill. So you'll see us cook it with skin on sometimes to help prevent that, because if the skin sticks, you don't care. But if you've got boneless, skinless fillets like I cooked this past week, that nest really works. You don't have to flip it. You can just, you know, put whatever kind of herbs you want down, slices of lemon, orange, and then lay your fish on top of that and let it cook.
And jalapenos you use.
Yeah. I used all kinds of stuff.
You slice long ways, you know.
And put it in there. So it gets some flavor from that. That stuff kind of takes the brunt of the heat, you know, and it's letting the fish get some absorption from the oils, releasing in that stuff and whatever you've got it laying on, but it's also cooking from the top side too.
And it's keeping it from sticking.
It keeps it from sticking. You can scoop it right out, and man, it goes right to it.
And
redfish is really good. I guess you catch them more on inshore fishing than you do deep sea fishing, but man, it's a good eating fish too. I love redfish on the half shell.
That was red snapper.
The one I did on that, was it snapper too?
Yes.
Okay, it wasn't just redfish.
Yeah, it was red snapper.
I knew I'd done some redfish recipes too, I thought.
That one you did on the half shell.
Okay.
And directly on the grate. You've also turned the grill grates over, you know.
To make them flat.
To make it flat. Yeah. And then you laid lemons and limes and did a barbecue catfish where you put the barbecue.
Oh, I remember that one. Yeah.
Or you put the catfish fillet on top of the lemon and limes. And then you, I wrote it down here. You glazed it with a barbecue butter glaze. Do you remember?
Been a while since I did that.
But you drizzled that barbecue butter glaze on top of that catfish as it was cooking on those lemons and limes.
There was some good stuff.
You served it with a pineapple slaw.
Yeah. Did we do a taco with that too?
It was just
you just had a fillet of fish.
It was a barbecue catfish, is what you called it. Barbecue grilled catfish. I want that now. I know.
Gotta go back and do that one. I did that at the old house, didn't I?
No, I think it was the new house. Yeah.
Man, that's been a while.
But it was really, really good. I remember that.
You know, probably my favorite. Now, this one will blow you away, and people don't believe me a lot of times how good it is. It's crab legs on the smoker. They are.
I would rather have them on the smoker than any other way.
You know, the steamer does them good. I ain't gonna lie.
It kind of steams them in a way.
It does make them steam in their own juices. That's what makes them so good. And the air movement in there brittles up that shell really nice to where, you know, a lot of times you get crab legs out. I don't know if they're steamed or they boil them or whatever they do. And you got to break them and they go to mush. They don't want to break. Yeah. When you do them on the smoker, they get all that benefits of the steam inside the shell, steaming the meat, bringing it back. But then you get the flavor of the smoke you're using, and the air moving around it dries that shell out, so it's more brittle. And so when you bust them, it's like the deadgum commercial you'd see on TV for Red Lobster. Yeah. When it's crab leg season at Red Lobster, and they show you that big piece. Red Lobster ain't never seen a crab leg like that. But on the commercial, they make it look good. And that's what they do. They bust out and you pull out a piece of, you know, snow crab leg that's 6 inches long, and you got some melted butter to dip it in.
Well, my favorite part is you will baste them as they're cooking.
And so the butter, people will say, oh, they don't do anything. You just put it on the outside. Try it. It gets in there. The flavor gets in there.
I don't know if it gets on the shell, and as I'm eating it, it's getting on my hands and it's getting on the meat. I don't know.
It's good.
It is good.
It's hands down the easiest and best way to cook crab legs. Yes. It really is. And it'll take, 35 minutes tops?
You just got to go buy. So you just buy a box of crab legs from
I bought them Kroger. Yeah. Ain't like I got the Bear and Sea to go to. But yeah, we got them from Kroger. I think it's, I don't know, 5-pound box.
Yeah, it's a substantial box.
It's a good bit of crab legs.
How much does that box like that run?
I guess it depends on
$150.
No, they're usually you can. I mean, sometimes they put them on sale for $9.99 a pound.
Okay.
So what's that? Okay. $50.
Yeah.
$50 can get you a box of crab legs usually,
and you can feed a lot of people with. There's probably 3 to 4 people.
I think they're probably 6-ounce clusters, so that'd be 2.5 clusters a pound. So you're looking at 10, 12. Somewhere in that range, probably 12 to 15 clusters, depending on what size they are in that box. So if you think, I would say, like when you order them, like when I ordered them at the steamer, you got 2 clusters of crab legs and a 1/2 pound of rolled reds. So that's a meal, Yeah. I mean,
hey, so what you do then is you put your crab legs on your smoker and then get you a pan of shrimp.
Yes. This is what I was going to go to next. Barbecue shrimp on the grill or smoked shrimp.
You call it smoked shrimp.
Yeah. They're easy and they're good too. All this cooks in 30 minutes.
Less than that.
Yeah. Seafood doesn't take long.
Yeah. And it was so easy. Like there's no prep work for these crab legs or smoked shrimp. You get your shrimp. So how do you smoke the shrimp in the pan?
First off, just put them in the pan, thaw them out. You want thawed shrimp.
What kind of shrimp are you looking for? Peeled?
The way you can get them with shell on. I usually buy them peeled, deveined, tail on. That's how I like to buy them. 16 to 20 count. So it's a big shrimp. So I probably consider them extra large. But if you can't get 16 to 20, get like the, 20/25s or 21/25s or whatever they're called. You want a decent sized shrimp because the little ones cook down to nothing.
Yeah.
And the 16 to 20 is the perfect size. Put them in the pan, season them with whatever you want to season them with. I use barbecue rub on that one, I'm pretty sure. Mm-hmm. But the trick is the butter. You got to have the butter and a Worcestershire and lemon juice, and that's it, and parsley. You mix all that up. So it's kind of a take on New Orleans style barbecue shrimp. You got that Worcestershire flavor, and you got the butter. That's what makes it. And you put those in there. I don't even know if did I melt the butter or just break it up and put it in the pan and let the heat melt it, I think.
I don't remember that. You can do it either way.
After 15 minutes, you go out there, you stir it a little, you toss them around, make sure the shrimp's cooking on all sides. Another 15 minutes, they're done.
Yeah.
Then your crab legs are done. And so you take that butter and you get all your shrimp out, pour that butter up in a bowl, and that's what you dip everything back in. Oh, man. You get that?
You're making me hungry.
Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, man, it's worth the drive to Orange Beach.
We've done that for your mother for, I don't know if it was her birthday or Mother's Day, because she loves crab legs and shrimp, and we did exactly that. We invited everybody over, did crab legs, smoked shrimp, and I think we did maybe coleslaw and
you don't need much else to go. Yeah. Corn. I think I did corn and sausage.
Maybe something like that, yeah.
Yep. Like a low country bowl.
Kind of, yeah. And we just sat on the table and everybody got down.
Man, it's so good. It really is. I mean, it's so easy to do a seafood feast that way.
Mm-hmm. And 30 minutes.
Yep.
No prep.
There is no prep. Thawing the seafood out. I mean, now, if you want to make drawn butter so you can clarify some butter and stuff like that. But I like using the butter I use, like, what's that? Land O'Lakes black box. It's supposed to be European style.
Yeah. Put
2 sticks of that in there. And, man, that's all the dipping butter you need.
They usually put that on sale. I like the Land O'Lakes sea salt and olive oil.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
That one's delicious. You've also done smoked blue crabs.
Yeah, I got those from that Maryland.
Off the dock,
no,
I think no.
No, they come from.
I'd have to look it up.
I forget. There's something point, but anyway, they sent those to me as like a bushel of blue crabs, and they were all right. I don't eat a lot of blue crabs because, man, it's a ton of work. If you went to a crab eating, like you're at a restaurant or something on the dock and they got them and you can sit out there and drink beer and, throw the newspaper out and they bring them to you and all that. But do them at home, it's a lot of daggum work for it. It is.
And I think it's what you get used to because I imagine people that aren't used to eating crawfish would say the same thing about crawfish.
Yeah, I love crawfish now. I haven't figured out a way to do them live on the smoker yet.
It was the Bowler Plate crab.
That was it, Bowler Plate, yeah.
Out of Virginia.
Now, I'll tell you what I did get from them that was amazing was those big Chesapeake oysters.
Yes.
And doing char grilled oysters. We ate a ton of them just raw.
Yeah.
When me and you shucked them all, I had to learn how to shuck oysters. I never shucked oysters. They sent us a bushel of those, and we shucked them, and we ate some raw, and then I made some, we did, how many different ways did I do char grilled? I know I did like just a barbecue style with butter and, the seasonings and stuff. I also did the Rockefeller style with the spinach. Those were really good.
We didn't make a video on that one.
Oh, we did. We just, oh man, did we do a blog post or anything?
No.
I got to redo that one then because they were really good. And that's part of the World Foods. I'm doing, just so happens I'm doing seafood in World Foods this year. I want to do something different. So me and you could cook in the kitchen stadium again. And so the first round, you have to do a structured build and a signature dish or whatever. The structured build, it has to be what they tell you. So we're having to use char grilled oysters, some kind of dish. So that's what I need to get some oysters to start working.
Yeah. Well, I know how to shuck them now.
That's right. They're already going to be shucked. We'll have to do that.
Oh.
But when we buy some, I'll have to shuck them.
That's what I'm saying when we try it at home. One thing, I remember when we were shucking those oysters, we found little tiny, was it crabs in the oysters?
Yeah, inside them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they say that they're a delicacy. When you find those, they're like a delicacy, and you should
eat them.
Eat them. Do you
Really?
remember that?
I didn't eat one. Did you?
Yeah, I tried it.
Yeah, how was it?
I mean,
just ate it. Was it alive still?
Yeah, they were little babies.
Oh, yeah, just chomp them down. Huh? I hear you.
Well, they told us that those are delicacies, and people go crazy.
If they find them in there.
Yeah, and we only found a few.
Yeah.
So I had to try one.
Those Chesapeake oysters were good.
Yeah.
They were monsters.
They were big. And you used, you did butter, a little Romano cheese, some garlic, lemon, Italian parsleys, and AP rub.
That was it.
Did
I do a video?
Yes.
Okay. I thought I did.
On those, kind of a char grilled.
Yeah.
But we also
They're simple. Man, char grilled oysters, it don't get any easier than that. As long as you got good oysters. You throw them on the grill and you can make up different sauces or butters and put whatever you want on them. It doesn't take them long to cook. By the time the butter starts sizzling and melting good, the oyster's done. It don't take it long to cook.
Yes. And you also fried some oysters.
Now those I did.
You did kind of a surf and turf.
It was that was my take on Kelly English's surf and turf at Irish, where I took the strip and split it and deep fried those oysters and made that blue cheese kind of dressing for the salad and everything and drizzled them. Oh man.
It was delicious.
That's one of my favorite steak dishes at a restaurant.
I remember eating
I don't even know if it still got it on the menu. I heard he retooled his menu. They closed for a little while and reset.
I thought he took it off and put it back.
I need to find out.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've had that.
Hey, we could go there tonight.
My birthday's coming up. Can't go tonight. Got a reservation.
You're not a big fan of salmon.
No, I've had it. The reason being,
you like the beef or salmon.
I've had salmon when it's so fishy that it tastes like cat food to me. And so every time I eat it, I'm always hesitant. And so there's been times I've had good salmon. And it's like, oh man, it doesn't get any better than this. It doesn't taste like fish at all. Especially like smoked salmon or really good salmon. And then the last time that beef or salmon was in fact the last recipe that we used some on. And it wasn't, I got it at Kroger, but it didn't taste like fish at all. It just tastes like steak kind of.
Yeah.
Cooked on that thing and it was good. But then I've got some fillets. I even did the recipes I've screwed up the worst is when I've done salmon and tried to cure it and it just tastes like cat food. I mean, it's hard to eat.
There was one recipe, and this is like one of our first recipes where you did a smoked salmon. You bought a whole salmon and smoked it, and it was horrible.
About made me puke. Now I'm just thinking about it. You know how your mouth starts watering? God, it was terrible. I wouldn't feed it to a cat. It was terrible.
Would you try that again? Because I love smoked salmon.
The best I've done is I've done it on planks. And I made the little sweet sauce, I think it was a maple sauce or molasses sauce to go on it.
You did
and that was really good.
You did one where you just did it on the Traeger. You didn't use the planks, and it was a molasses glazed salmon.
That one was good.
Yes, and then you did one on the cedar, or is it the cedar planks? Mm-hmm. And it was used a honey balsamic glaze.
And those were good too. Both of those were times I just got good salmon.
Yeah, and it was just a nice little fillet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But when I tried to buy that big fillet.
I want you to try that again.
I don't know where I think that came from Sam's.
It did.
And I'm kind of suspect on Sam's salmon. I don't know where Kroger got theirs, but it was good the past few times I've got it.
But I love a good smoked salmon, like when you go for a brunch or something.
Yeah.
I love smoked salmon.
And it's not fishy.
Yeah.
And they serve it with the capers and the little cut up red onion. And
yes.
They usually have like a little dill sauce or something. Yeah.
Or some cream cheese or something.
Right. Yeah. Well, on a bagel, it's really good. Mm-hmm. We got that somewhere recently. I thought it was good. It was at Peabody.
Yeah.
They had it. It was good. Smoked salmon.
You also have several shrimp recipes. We like shrimp around the house.
Yep. One I remember doing was at Po' Boy.
Yes.
Where I did skewered grilled shrimp, and they don't get any easier than that. But, you
seasoned them, and then you basted them with a barbecue shrimp sauce as they cooked.
And then made a po' boy sandwich out of it. It's like killer po' boy, too.
You skewered the shrimp to make it easier to grill.
And a lot of times you'll see people run 2 skewers through shrimp because, they'll run them side by side. Uh-huh. It'll keep them to where you can pick them up and flip. They don't, pick up one skewer and they want to flip around and spin. And rotate, but if you put 2 in there, they're easier to do.
Yeah. So that's the only thing. That's the only reason you're skewering them.
Yeah. Now, 2 more come to mind that are really appetizers that are really good. It's when I did the stuffed bacon wrap shrimp. Did you put that one on there?
I did. That was what I turned in from FSMA.
Yes. And it did good. It was like 12th this year, wasn't it?
20.
Yeah. It was good.
And it was kind of a last minute deal. It was kind of like, oh crap, we signed up for seafood and we don't have anything to do. Right. And so we decided to do
With those, I buy the biggest shrimp you can find. I like the colossals. And I think they're 12 to 16 or whatever you can find usually.
Well, we couldn't find we couldn't find huge shrimp.
We couldn't find the biggest one, so we did what we had. They were 1620s. Yeah. But I took them and butterflied them. So they're peeled, deveined, tail on. Butterfly them with it. Just take your knife and come from the back and kind of make a thin cut and open it up. It gives you a place to stuff. And then we took cream cheese. What do we mix it with?
Chives, hot sauce maybe.
Or Captain Rodney's. One of the Rodney's.
Yes.
Kind of give it a little sweet, tangy element.
Well, we added the Captain Rodney's to the outside too.
Yes, and glazed it back with it. So you take that mixture, let it get back stiff, take a spoon of it, put it inside the shrimp, take a half a strip of bacon. But we cooked the bacon. We pre-cooked the bacon a little. That way, because the whole thing is when you wrap shrimp with bacon, if you use raw bacon, by the time you get the bacon cooked, that shrimp's going to be rubbery. It's going to taste like a rubber band. It's going to be so tough. But if you'll pre-cook your bacon about, 15 minutes, I think, in the recipe I did?
Yeah.
15 minutes, it gives it a head start.
So it's still pliable.
Yeah, it's still real floppy bacon.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd want it more done than that to eat it.
Yeah.
But it's perfect because you've given it the head start. So once you wrap it around the shrimp and you put it back on the grill, in 15, 20 minutes, that bacon's brown. And that's about how long those cook. It wouldn't 30 minutes tops with the glaze and everything.
I used a chicken rack and set my little pieces of shrimp wrapped in bacon.
And skewer them? I don't remember. Yeah,
that's what I used the chicken rack for.
Because you don't flip them. Seam down. You want to make sure the seam is down when you lay them down on the rack.
Seam down. And I kind of, on the chicken rack, I kind of went ahead and positioned them just like I was putting them in the box, because I wanted them to cook and be pretty with the big tail up, like that, the bacon wrapped and the tail up, and just sitting there on the rack, and using the rack makes it easy to move around.
You're not fighting them.
You're not fighting them. You're not moving them anywhere.
And then we glazed that with, did we use the peach one? Or
I don't remember if it was tequila lime or the
and all of them are good. They're all good. You brush that on during the last few minutes, let them glaze up. And it makes a really unbelievable appetizer. The only thing is, man, you better do
a bunch
because they're going to go. They are going to go. But if you've never had them, they're really good. And we did the shrimp dip. And so it's like a hot cream cheese based seafood, with the shrimp in it dip that's really, really good on the smoker. You're doing an iron skillet. Mm-hmm. And I did that for the holidays.
You did that for like a Christmas
party
recipe.
We serve it. You can serve it.
We did
it
the same time
like.
We did the smoked sausage cheese balls.
So let's go back over what all was in the cream cheese shrimp dip.
Okay, hold on.
I know I probably took some jack cheese and shredded it up.
I know there's green onions in it.
You can pull it up. But what I like to serve it with is like crostinis. Mm-hmm. Makes a better chip.
And you could use anything.
Yeah, I mean tortilla chips, corn chips. You can start crackers. It'd make a good cracker dip.
So in your Creole shrimp dip, you used a pound of shrimp.
You could substitute crawfish if you like to do a crawfish cream cheese.
You cooked it on the, you took your shrimp, you diced it.
Did it on PK, I think, didn't I?
Yes. You took your shrimp, you diced it, you threw it in the cast iron skillet with some butter.
I used raw shrimp.
Yes. Lemon.
And did those.
Got them cooked
Developed
a little
that
bit,
flavor, yep.
And then you added everything else to that pot, stirred it around.
You know, I've done that a cheating way where you use pre-cooked shrimp. Yeah. They're already fully cooked. And then you just throw them in the cheese mixture, mix it up, and roll. So
yeah, you can do that.
If you want a quick version, all you're doing is warming up cheese at that point. You can even do that in the oven.
But you had garlic. It was butter, garlic, parsley.
A white wine.
Some King Crawl.
Creole seasoning, yeah.
White wine. Yep. Lemon juice. Cream cheese, Colby Jack, mozzarella, Parmesan, sour cream, mayo, and then green onion or parsley for garnish.
There's no way that can be bad, is it? There's no way that's bad. The only thing
you can do it in the oven.
Don't burn yourself.
It's really
when that comes out.
Yeah. It's really a recipe you could do in the oven in the house.
Yeah, that's what it's probably meant for. But you know me, I'm gonna do everything on the grill I can. You can do it on anything as long as you got a heat source.
You've also done some grilled lobster tails, and I'm not a big fan of lobster.
Really? I had a good one this past weekend.
Did you?
They had the captain's platter. You know, I had to get in the captain's platter.
When we got
off the boat, and it was, it was a lobster tail. It was a piece of grouper that they blackened. There was some shrimp, and it was some scallops, all on one platter with like a baked potato and a salad.
It was all grilled and stuff?
Yeah, all grilled, everything. And man, it was good. But the lobster was cooked perfect.
Yeah.
So a lot of times with lobster,
it wasn't rock lobster.
No, it was a little Maine lobster tail. So it was a small one, but it was good. It was cooked perfect. And what I did with them is split them in half when I had those Maines, the whole lobsters.
Yeah.
Split them in half, make up a butter, and start grilling them. And basically, you just baste them like I do the crab legs until the lobster's done, and then bust it out of there. And it's some good eating.
It was pretty good.
You like that one better than most.
I like that one better than most.
But it's because lobster is so easy to overcook. And it gets tough, just like any scallop or shrimp or anything. It gets tough. And so a lot of times, most places overcook it unless you get it perfectly cooked. And we've bought some high dollar plateaus at some restaurants and they put lobster on it. And it looks great, but the lobster's tough. It's overcooked. So you really got to watch it when you're doing lobster.
Keep it, yeah. Well, that's seafood in general.
In general, yeah.
You can.
That's where you mess it up. People mess their seafood up by not getting fresh seafood. So it turns them off because it's got a fishy taste, which, hey, I've been there. And then also you overcook it, thinking it needs to cook more. But most of it you can eat right out of the sea. Yeah. So it doesn't take much cooking.
And you've also done some, but the grilled lobster tails, pretty much, you're cooking them just like you do the crab legs.
Exactly the same. You're not turning them or anything. They're just cooking. You're sitting there basting them till they're done. And any kind of shellfish like that lets you know it's got kind of a built-in looks because it turns bright red. The skin, the flesh turns opaque. It's white. And then the shells or the outside of it turns bright red. It happens with shrimp, lobster, crab. All of them do it.
And fish just kind of gives you an indicator too. It flakes. It gives you. You also did the scallops in parchment paper.
Now that's a fun one to do, and we've actually. That was a recipe that came from a buddy of ours that used to cook with us a long time ago. He's gone. He's passed away now, but Andy had that. He come up with that recipe, and man, we killed it one year at Lakeland Fun Fest.
He won several trophies with that
lobsters and paper. I forget the French.
Scallops
and
paper.
Papillon or however they say it. But it was so he took parchment paper and kind of cut out a heart shape, and then he bought big scallops with the U10s, I think they are, whatever the diver scallops are, the big ones. And you put them in there with all these different.
You use sun dried tomatoes, garlic, shallot, parsley, lemon, olive oil. Salt and pepper.
And that was it. Mm-hmm. And so you mix all that up, put it over the scallops, put them in the paper, and you start crumbling it, around, crimpling up the edges all the way around. It makes a little envelope. And you just set those on the grill, indirect heat, and the paper will kind of blow up and it'll start turning brown. And it doesn't take, 15, 20 minutes? Did I put a time?
20 minutes.
To cook them. They're easy to do.
It said you cooked indirect 375.
For 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
And you take them out and you bust that paper and the steam comes out. and everything in there. It kind of creates its own dipping sauce in those scallops, and they're just flaking apart.
And you really could add anything into that little pouch.
Oh yeah, you could do fish in there like that if you wanted to. It'd be like a steamed fish.
I've ordered fish like that.
You could put a lot of stuff in there and play with the different flavors of it. But the thing is, when you serve it, you always serve it in the paper. And that way, whoever's eating it takes their knife and busts it open. And they get that aroma, and then they got all the juice to dip it back in. I mean, it goes with any kind of vegetables or rice. How did he serve it when he turned it in? We left it in the paper. We busted it open for them though, so they would know it was in there. But that was how he would do it, and we didn't know how to build boxes back then. We were just putting it we didn't garnish it much. We just put our envelopes in there with all the good scallops, and they spoke for themselves. I mean, it was really, really good.
I don't really like scallops that much. There's something else. They usually get overcooked and they have a bad texture. And
you don't know if you're eating shark sometimes. No, have you seen that?
I don't mind eating shark.
Have you seen that, how they make the faux scallops? So they've got it's like this big tool, and it's got all these circles in it, and they'll go down some shark that they've probably beat to death with a club or something, caught in a tuna net or something. And they'll put that meat and they'll just like cookie cutter it out, and it looks like little scallops.
And they sell it as scallops.
Oh, notorious. I've seen it. You gotta watch it, like imitation scallop. That's like, have you ever ate imitation crab?
Oh yeah.
A lot of times they say white fish. Sometimes it's shark too.
That was the only crab I ever ate growing up.
Imitation crab.
What are you talking about?
Other white fish.
They don't taste bad. Imitation crab.
I've had some that's
I've used it for crab dips and stuff.
Yeah. You sit at Chinese restaurants and make it that seafood delight.
Yeah.
Cheesy seafood delight.
I used to love
imitation
that stuff.
crab in it. You like shark and you didn't even know it. No. Shark and cod.
Hey, I'm not opposed to eating something as long as it's done well.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So that's the thing with the scallops. If it's done well, I like it. But other than that, I don't like the texture when it gets overcooked.
Yeah, I've had some when I try to skewer them I've had some really good scallops that are seared, but man, it's so easy to mess them up. And when you think you're going to wrap those in bacon and cook them till the bacon's done, there's no way. You can't eat those scallops. Bacon wrap. Have you had those? No. Bacon wrap scallops where people try to cook the bacon and it's just like eating a dense rubber band.
Yeah. How long would it take you to cook a scallop on a grill like that? Like
15 minutes? Yeah, it doesn't take long at the most. So it's kind of like doing those stuffed shrimp. You got to have that bacon pre-cooked to go around to me to do it right. Yeah. If you got the bacon done, wrapped around it, you can just about pan sear them, and it doesn't, and by the time that second side gets a little sear on it, the residual heat's going to carry it through it, and then it'll melt in your mouth, and it's not chewy, it's not tough. And it's like, wow, it's really good. But when you cook them to where the bacon's done, and you try to put a hard sear on them, this is over. You just got a tough piece of meat.
We also did a seafood pizza.
Now,
we got
that one was back in February when I went to the Bahamas and come back, and man, wow, it's
a great pizza.
Yeah. You know what? I'm not dead set against turning that in.
Well, we've talked about it.
Yeah, it's good. It's so good. I use lobster.
I bet nobody else. It's an expensive pizza. Seafood pizza.
Hey, you never know.
Well, we got to quit talking about it on here.
But it was lobster and shrimp chopped up with a white sauce, like a bechamel type Alfredo sauce on a pizza crust with some cheese, and you can't mess it up.
Yeah,
it is so good.
It's an expensive.
Yeah. You took lobster. If you did shrimp, it wouldn't be bad. You could probably do shrimp and crab, and it wouldn't be too bad. Yeah. But you throw lobster, it's just so expensive anyway.
You could do anything really. You could just
all shrimp would be good. Yeah. You could do shrimp and scallop. I wanted, I've got some crawfish tails. I hadn't thought about doing a crawfish pizza, but that'd be good too in that white sauce. Be really good.
You just took like your white barbecue sauce and modified that recipe a little bit, didn't you? It was good.
No, it wasn't a white barbecue sauce. It was more like a Alfredo style bechamel sauce.
Okay.
Yeah, it was more of a cheesy based sauce. I did the white barbecue sauce on chicken pizza.
That's right.
That was good.
So any other recipes you've had?
Those are the best ones that come to mind, from, I don't know, if I had to pick one, it had to be the crab legs. But now that you talk about that pizza, that brings that back up how good that was.
It was good, but it is not as good as
crab legs. Yeah. Crab legs and the smoked shrimp.
Yes.
That's that's where it's at. If you're starting on seafood, if you want to try seafood on the grill, go ahead and do those.
You can't mess them up.
Can't mess them up.
Because you just don't walk away. Yeah.
Don't overcook them. That's the only way you can mess them up is overcook them.
You know, one of my favorite recipes, when I see it on a menu, I usually order it, is like a redfish Anna, where they kind of put a crab topped on. Oh, yeah. Is it like an Oscar? Yeah. You see it called different things. Some people, who does that one? There's a place in Jackson. I bet it's like a buttercream kind of sauce. It's a lemon butter sauce with crab meat. Lump crab, and then served over veggies and stuff. Over a piece of fish. Walker's Drive-In does one that's top notch. I love the lemon cream sauce or whatever. They do that really well at Cobalt. They do one. It's really good. Does it have like a crab meat on top of the fish? You can get it with crab meat on top, but most of the time it's just that over a piece of fish. And then it'll have asparagus or rice or something, something like that with it. But it's really good. So where are you taking me for lunch? I don't know. Where can we get some seafood? I'm going to drive to Alabama. Back to the Gulf. But no, that's is that all we got today? That's all I got today. Well, we're be looking for snapper recipe coming out. Not next week. We'll probably do a podcast talking about Collinsville and what all we did up there. Yeah. Got to tell you how a fine swine is. Yeah. I'm going to try to get the sugar fires too, because I've never been to one of those. Yes, and you've got to use the new billows by ThermoWorks. Yeah, got to work that up. Get it a review on that. I got some stuff I got to do. Back to the grind. Can't be all vacation fun, but we've had a good summer, and thank you guys for listening. Where can they find us? If you'd like to connect with Malcolm, it's HowToBBQRight on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and always on YouTube. If you'd like to connect with me, it's Miss Southern Shell on Instagram and Twitter. So if anybody's in Collinsville area, y'all come out and hang out with us this weekend. We'll see y'all next week.